Is he in there?
What?
My father, is he in there with you?
They let him out?
A couple years ago, our former chief started exhibiting some erratic behavior.
What are you doing?
I'm not at liberty to say.
You don't remember, do you?
What?
Last night.
Tell me where you are. Is he with you or not?
Don't wake up! Don't anybody wake up! Go to sleep!
Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back to talk more Leftovers Season 1. We are on episode 7. I believe it's episode 7. let's make sure. Let's make sure that we're on episode 7. We're on episode 7. It is called Solace for Tired Feet. So full spoilers if you have not seen this episode. Fantastic show. So we're going to kind of take care of one story right off the bat. As you all know how I've done it before, Tom's story, while it's really well acted by everybody in those scenes that Tom's involved in with the Holy Wayne and the pregnant girl storyline, like I've said before, it kind of just doesn't go anywhere. It's, as far as I remember. Even though, like, right now, like, it feels like it's building to something. But, like, I mean, we already know that, like, Wayne said he's going to die, but he still keeps saying these things about the babies and all that stuff. So we're going to get into Tom's story and cover all of his stuff, like, right up front. So he's in Gary, Indiana with, you know, Christine. She's mumbling, she's feverish, she's saying he's the bridge, you know, but they haven't had contact with Wayne for 2 months. There's a lot of time. I think this all takes place in like a year, this first season, I think, somewhere along there. I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe not. It just seems like a lot of time has been going by. And Wayne finally calls Tom, of course, making it seem like Tom, you know, Wayne knows when Tom's going through a crisis. But really, it's not even that. Because Wayne can't even really remember him right away. He's all messed up too. I don't know if that's, you know, something connected with the births. But he asks them for money. Some of the money that he gave him, and put it underneath a mailbox. Do it right fucking now. Leave it fucking now. And then he asks if he fucked her. Like in this weird kind of almost jealous tone. And that he says it won't be long now, like thing. I mean, he's clearly, like, you could say maybe that if his powers are sapping, like all the stuff that he's taken in, all the pain he's taken in is finally killing him. You know, very martyr-esque, very you know, savior kind of thing. But Tom gets the money, tapes it under the mailbox, and waits. Waits this time. He doesn't leave. He sits there because he wants to know what the hell is all this about. Like, what is this shit? Like, well, here's the shit, dude. You're being scammed by a man who thinks he's, like, being, you know, he's got some sort of purpose, some higher purpose, and you fell for it. And now, you know, you've been strung along this time that, yeah, you finally woke up. Yay, guess what? Put the smelling salts underneath Tommy Boy because, yeah, dude, you kind of got scammed. Coming from a person who had to listen to 19 years of indoctrination, I know what I'm talking about here. Get Jesus Christ. So he follows the person who takes the money and finds out that he's got a prego too. And she's Asian. And these guys, like, okay, first off, right, I mean, they pulled a gun on him, right? So, like, and I love when Tom just blasts through the doors. I love this part. Well, we find out, and here's a clip really quick to show you what I'm talking about.
Yeah?
I'm here to see Wayne.
Who the fuck are you?
Wayne! I know you're in here, Wayne! Wayne!
Don't fucking move!
Whoa, take it easy.
You okay, Leanne?
How does he know about Wayne?
I'm the one who dropped off the money. I just wanted to talk to him.
Why?
Because I have one too.
What? Of what?
One of her.
So, yeah, we find out that Wayne didn't just get one girl out. He got at least two, and there's probably more. And that the reason Wayne called him is because these people needed money. And gee, I wonder why they ran out of money when the guy's snorting it up his fucking nose. So that's why Tom had to take half of his money to give it to this piece of shit who's probably just going to snort it, you know. But the other thing is, we go like, how many others? He's got to have a plan, because of course, you know, people on, you know, coked up, be like, yeah, man, come on, you know, God's gonna teach us something, you know. But he also lied to the girls too. We find out because this guy's girl goes bananas and starts shooting because she's like, I was special. He told me it was mine, and he was gonna be the bridge. So we find out that his whole gimmick of knocking up Asian girls and telling them that they've got like the bridge, and I'm assuming like the bridge is like a connection to the departed, like or some kind of fucking weird thing like that. But I mean, she goes nuts because she's screaming about where's the other one, where's the girl that's pregnant. Like she wants to kill Christine when she finds out that she's pregnant with Wayne's baby too. So what is going on in Tomsville? But he gets out of there, and Wayne calls again, and this time he finally does the right thing and smashes the phone. But then goes and finds Christine, who has pulled a quiet place, and they had a baby in a bathtub, a little baby girl. And so, you know, that leads us to some stuff that's like, okay, shit's happening here. But I'm telling you, man, it's in the end, it just kind of fizzles out. And poor Tom's character, like, really never gets anything to do. I don't think he's even in season 3 except maybe briefly. I think he's in it he's in it. But he's a very, very minor character. And in season 2, he doesn't really get that much to do either. It's very disappointing. But maybe that's because, you know, the book was just that one book. This isn't a series. And then after Tom's story was over, you know, they didn't have anything else for him, but they didn't know what to do with the actor. They didn't want to kill him off or anything, right? Or maybe they should have. I don't know. But getting on to like the main story proper, because we're kind of we bounce around a lot between people. Jill, at the beginning of this episode, we see that somebody's been making posters that have Gladys's picture on them, and they say save them. Well, this doesn't go over well with the guilty remnant. It's like, oh, did somebody do something to bother the poor guilty remnant? Did somebody insinuate that they need to be saved? Well, what do you think they're trying to do? Like, so Lori gets pissed off. They all start knocking down the posters, right? And it's like, hey man, tit for fucking tat. You break into people's houses and take their pictures and shit. And then somebody does something like this, and this is how they react. I mean, this is priceless. Like, just how dare they think they can save us? If I was Matt, well, I kind of just spoiled that, but we'll get to that. But Lori sees Jill, awkward, you know, having to see her mom. Jill's better off. But then we get this scene where they're out in the woods, and then there was one of the twins is in this fridge apparently there's this story about like a kid who went in there. It was part of a really horrible prank. Yeah, shoving somebody in a fridge so that they could possibly die is really, you know, a effed up tradition. Well, now they have this effed up tradition, and here's a clip to show that.
I can break the record.
Excuse me, Garvey. You need to do the invocation before you even attempt the crossing.
It's stupid.
Invo fucking cation, Garvey.
On October 14th, 2011, Paul Glowski was forced inside this conveyance against his will in a childish prank and was never seen or heard from again.
Heard from again.
Nor heard from again. Now I honor the mystery of his loss by repeating his suffering and embracing the great darkness.
Amen.
I'll miss you. Be safe.
See you on the other side, Garvey.
Okay, so yeah, you know, they have this whole thing. So this kid, like, that's crazy though. Okay, so some poor kid got picked on, pushed into this fridge, and then when they go to let him out, he departed while he was inside there. So here's the thing though. Fuck, I can't say it without, I've got to make a mental note about this one when it comes to like the end of the show. I'm going to have to write this down to remember to bring this story, this particular departure up for the very end of the series. Shit, I wish I could talk about it right now. Because I don't want to spoil it for anybody that is watching this for the first time. Kevin has his fourth date with Nora. And I love they already have like a pretty nice banter. You can see that they already are having a positive effect on each other. With his fun text to her about like what he's saying to Jill about, oh, hey, going to have sex with Nora for the first time, kind of nervous, blah, 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 send winky face, you know. It's really cute. It's really actually cute. And I don't feel like it's that shitty, cheesy, over-the-top, corny shit that they write for people that are dating or on a date or whatever. It actually feels kind of genuine and real. So, you know. Jill, though, meanwhile, she's in the fridge trying to break the record and gets stuck in there. After she breaks the record, the fridge won't open. She's freaking out, and suddenly Kevin Sr. there, played by Scott Glenn, shows up and lets her out. Like, how did he know to be there? Him, specifically. But all he says is, don't tell your dad that I was here. Kevin and Nora, though, they go home, right? They're ready on their fourth date to have some fun, as adults are able, you know, consenting adults are able to do. They're gonna bang. Okay, all right. See, I don't know why I was struggling with the words there. But the guilty remnant, Meg and another one are there, sitting outside of Nora's house. Kevin, now, you know, they're on a date, they're getting ready to bang, and there's the guilty remnant there to kill the boner. Or the lady boner. And Kevin tries to be polite, but Nora just does the greatest thing ever. Again, Nora, I didn't wear my leftover shirt. Shit. It's over there. I forgot to put it on. Damn it. There, that's better. So, Nora hoses down the guilty remnant with, like, man, it looked like a big hose that she got them with. But it's awesome. It's why I love Nora. She just goes ahead and sets the water on the guys. It's just fantastic. But then you get these awkward conversations ensue. Her departed family, Lori and the guilty remnant. They both admit that they don't really know how to talk to each other yet, and because the guilty remnant were there, it kind of killed, like I said, well, I don't know how I know how the guys works. I don't know how it works for the ladies, but moving on. Jill asks what Grandpa did. Well, he burned down the library. it's kind of interesting that he goes back to the library in this, but he's not. He gets told by Kevin, or by Matt. Who says it? He's not coming. Oh yeah, he goes to his house, or to the chief's house, the new chief's house, who was dating his dad, and asks about him if he's there, and she says, "Well, he's not coming to me. He'd be coming to you." So Kevin goes home, prepares for a confrontation, and the next thing you know, he wakes up. Well, he has this like dream, right? He gets a knock on the door. He hears dog growling. It's Sniper Man telling him that there's a dog in the mailbox. Tom's there, closing the door disapprovingly. I think he shoots the mailbox once. And this actually is a kind of an effective like scare here. I mean, it's a bit of a jump scare, but like he opens up the mailbox and then just enough pause goes where then the dog just suddenly goes like, you know. But Kevin wakes up on the floor. It's all been a dream. Well, some of it anyway. Bandaged, and the dog's in the back. There's a crazy dog in the backyard. Doesn't remember anything. And Amy is already asking him, so, like, oh, hey, is everything all right? So he and her had an interaction that night before. We find out that Kevin Sr. beat up a cop, and that he needs $200 to get something for Kevin. Because that's what he finds out. Well, that's what Kevin Jr. finds out when he goes into the library. So he went back to a library, so it's like a good thing that he didn't fucking burn it down on the way out. But Kevin Sr., Scott Glenn, shows up at the house, and him and Jill get to catch up a little bit. And let me tell you something. Scott Glenn, did you see his, like, guns in this episode? I mean, I don't think they've shown him, like, without, like, he had, like, a tank top on or something. But holy moly, is Scott Glenn jacked. He is one jacked older gentleman, man. I gotta tell you. But Jill, he tries to convince her that, you know, he was just out there, you know, after he escaped his place. But she's not believing it, and he's happy that she's not buying what he's selling. And he wants to drug the dog so that he can get to, I think he wants to get to the money so that he can pay for whatever it was he was going to buy. But Kevin shows up because Jill called him, and again, Kevin Sr.'s like, good girl, like, you did the right thing. I told you not to tell, but you should. Because even in his own mind, he knows he's, like, he says he knows he thinks he's not crazy, but in a way, like, he knows he's dangerous as well. So that she, and then she finds the piece of paper that he left behind. Now, did he leave it on purpose? I don't know, because he's still kind of is looking for what he's looking for. But he, you know, he tries to ask Kevin, like, why aren't you asking me the question, like, why did I bust out? But we run into a guilty remnant protest. Of all things, they're protesting. They're protesting. Again, it's kind of silly. They're like, I find it a little off for these characters, for this group of characters to suddenly be the ones protesting with their own, like, they have the Gladys posters that says, now it says, don't save them. Like, I thought that the guilty remnant were, like, these people that were, like, above all that. But apparently they're can be just as pissy, too. Or maybe I just feel like a protest is beneath them. Like, they're with the way they've been upping their ante, you'd think that with the Don't Save Them posters, they'd come up with something better than just a protest. But Kevin loses Kevin Sr. in the crowd, and so that pisses him off. And he knocks Patty down on the way, so there's that. Jill, though, we find out she goes ahead and orders the thing for Grandpa, and Amy confronts Kevin about the missing memory, the convenient memory loss, and I love his reaction to this. It's great. Like, when confronted by somebody, he just, like, looks at her like, you like staying here? You like being a part of this little family? Well, basically, he's like, shut the fuck up. Like, you want to stay here? Don't fuck with me. Don't rock the boat. Don't push me. Okay? I like that. He kind of puts her in her place without putting her in her place. Like, letting her read between the lines. Kevin feeds the dog, finds the jar with the money, finds the note to Matt, all this like, and he goes looking for Matt. And what I do like about this scene is we find out here that, I mean, I guess it's Matt that's doing it. And this is what I was talking about earlier. I said I kind of spoiled it, that Matt's the one making the posters, save them. And while I know that Matt likes to say, oh, I'm doing this, to help them, like, in any way he can, even though they blew the whistles in his face and all that jazz. But they took his church, okay? They took his church, and they've been mocking him. And so I feel like in this way, like, he can say, oh, well, I'm doing this for the good of everybody. But I kind of feel like he's doing it just to purposely piss them off. And good on Matt for doing it. But it's interesting. That's where he finds, like, them making the huge prints. That's a big printer, man. For these posters, and they're running them off, man, running them off. Let's see. Oh yeah, when he crushes, there's a lot of crushing phones, messages that people don't want to hear, because he talks to Matt, and Matt says, "We'll meet you," blah blah blah, whatever, come along, that kind of thing, and he smashes a phone. That lady's expression was fucking priceless, like looking at what he just did to her phone. I don't even think that was a smartphone. I think they were still using like flip phones in this, if you noticed. But I love that. They're like, both people are crushing things when they don't hear things that they want to hear. Like Tom crushes the phone when he gets Wayne's call, like, enough's enough of this crazy. And Kevin's done the same thing when he's just like, God damn it, like. But we. Kevin Sr. shows up at the diner, a crowded diner too, with the May 1972 National Geographic. And look, here's one of the reasons why this show can be a little annoying, because you have scenes like this that don't explain anything. They just ask more questions. And that was one of the problems that a lot of people felt like on Lost, was that, because this is Damon Lindelof, what we're talking about, is that they just kept asking more questions until they started piling up. And in this, you think maybe there's going to be some sort of point to it, that they're in on something, but they don't. And that's a little frustrating going forward. And I'm just, I got to be honest, like, I love this show, but at times it is a little up its own ass. Because he just says these things like, you need to accept it. We're in the fucking game now. Context is everything, son. And then when he's like, says he doesn't want it, he's like, I relieve you. And he just rips up the magazine and tells people to go back to sleep and everything. And they have to take him down. And Matt's giving Kevin Jr. this like really strange look, like, what are you doing, man? It's like, well, what do you think? He started like acting crazy. And I guess, in some ways, I guess that Kevin Sr.'s character could be seen as like a prophet, like a modern day prophet. This guy who's hearing voices and has all this like kind of information that, to his son, kind of like, I don't know. Again, all these kind of religious symbolism and metaphors in this that you can either take for, I just kind of say that the departure made a lot of people fucking crazy. But he tells Kevin that they're not going to let you off that easy, son. And boy, howdy do they not, because next episode's a fucking doozy. But then, Kevin, after all this, goes to see Nora. Like, where's this? Oh, there she is. Sorry, everybody. But Kevin and Nora get it on. And it's pretty fucking hot. Sorry. But it is. It's a pretty hot scene. It's these two people that just really want each other at this moment. And it's pretty hot. But we get, that kind of gets killed because Meg saw Kevin go in there, and they clearly, they were paying quite a bit of attention, because they tell Lori that, they give her Nora's file, and Meg writes down that Kevin's banging. They say Kevin's fucking this, your ex is fucking this lady. And Lori writes, so? And then we get the post-coital stuff, right? And here's just a small detail that I really, really like, right? And that's that Nora's not hiding under the covers after sex. Every fucking show, even ones with TVMA on Netflix, on HBO, all over the place, they just, the actresses, and look, I'm not trying to be like just so we can see some tits and ass. But when people are that kind of intimate, they're not normally hiding underneath the covers. And I like that she went, I don't know if they asked her or how they did it, but she agreed, clearly it was written down and agreed, or maybe it was her choice, I don't know, to be just naked. It wasn't over the top, it wasn't gratuitous, it was just how people are in that state. And I gotta say, hats off to you for being even more realistic, in just this little detail. But Kevin opens up to her and says, I think I'm going crazy. And Nora responds with, well, you're in the right place. So Kevin goes home, and after this, night of whatever, Kevin tells Jill about Nora, gives her some more honesty. But then he finds that Jill's order is already there. Now, that was pretty quick. I mean, even Amazon, I guess it got there quick. Overnight. She got an overnight National Geographic from May 1972 delivered to the house. And it's basically they're mocking Kevin, or at least in Kevin's mind. It's like, it's like Droopy. You drop him down a well, you go 1,000 miles, and there it is staring. He's staring right at you when you get home. And that's what the National Geographic is. Like, he can't get away from it, And so we don't see what happens after this. The dog jumps at the window, and we cut to black. But that's a pretty great way to end the episode. I think, again, this show is just so fantastic. And otherwise, with, again, the kind of problems that you run into in a Damon Lindelof kind of show is, and a mystery show, is, a lot of things that you don't know. What's going to mean something, what's not going to mean something, how much of this can you trust, is some of this going to be bullshit? And like I said, Tom's story being very disappointing. It doesn't take away from the regular writing and the acting and the production of this show is still just so fucking top notch. And I got to give it up to Scott Glenn in this episode because he just brings it, man. He brings it. That playing this type of role is freaking great, and it's so awesome. I've liked him for a really long time, and I love him on this show, and I continue to like him. And he's getting up there, but man, I hope he still keeps making work. As long as he can, because Scott Glenn is fucking aces in my book. So anyway, that's Solace for the Tired Feet, or Solace for Tired Feet. If you liked this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell, all that stuff. Help the channel grow by sharing and liking and all that stuff. Otherwise, this is Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews thing. You can find me on Twitter at Yesh8, that is YESSHH8, or just look up Rob Stone, aka Smirking Gun Reviews. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it, and we will see you on the next one.